everyone, welcome. This is Yoga for Stress Relief. Breathe easy. My name is Jodi, and we'll be starting as we usually do in a seated position, yet please know you can be seated in a chair, you can be seated in hero's pose, whatever works best for your body. And to begin our practice today, we're just going to take a moment to land. So I'll invite you to look around your space, orient yourself to the sights and sounds around you. And then let your eyes rest gently on the floor in front of you or let them drift closed. And bring your awareness to your inner world. Thoughts, emotions, sensations. Just in a very gentle way, holding in awareness what's here. Are there certain thoughts pulling at your attention? To-do list, whatever else there may be. What is the emotional field like today? What sensations are here? Taking a moment to observe without judgment what you're bringing to the mat today, where we're starting from. Now I'll invite you with a few deep cycles of breath, slowly inhaling, slowly exhaling, to begin to release the awareness of some of these thoughts, sensations, emotions that have been pulling at your attention. And see if you can give yourself permission to bring your awareness to the practice, to land with the feeling of the ground supporting you, and gently, as you're ready, open your eyes and again take in the space around you. So today we'll be working with Bhramari breath, a bee breath, humming bee breath, and the vu breath. And we'll be doing this to use the support of vibrations to clear our energy channels. So in yoga philosophy, we call our energy channels nadis. They're also mapped onto the meridians in Chinese medicines. We want to know we have these thousands of energy pathways in our body, and that when we use sound, we can help unblock and get things moving. And so the Bhramari breath is quite simple. We're going to inhale slowly and then hum the exhale. And so we'll do that 3 times together at our own rhythm as we begin. We'll be doing it throughout the practice today. If you would like, you can add your hands on the body so that you can feel fully this vibration of sound. Breathing in slowly and deeply. Taking a moment to let your awareness rest with the breath as it resumes its natural rhythm, just noticing any changes in the upper torso or the abdomen, the throat. And from here, we'll begin to gently open in the upper body and the diaphragm, the chest, with sun breaths. Inhaling to raise the arms up, and slowly exhaling at your own pace to lower the arms down. And as we do this, we're gently lifting the chin, gaze towards the ceiling as we raise our arms. And then slowly lowering the chin to gaze down as the arms lower. Experimenting with breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Welcoming a little movement into the shoulders. And at the next point that your hands join overhead, we'll take a pause here, inhaling deeply, and then as we exhale, turning to the left, settling into a gentle seated twist, letting the right hand land on the left thigh, and slowly turning to look over the left shoulder, letting the right forward-facing shoulder relax. Breathing into the area of the low ribs, or we can feel the diaphragm in a stretch in that area. And slowly inhaling back to center and repeating on the other side. Slowly lowering now to the right, the left hand gently resting on the right thigh. And again, gazing over the right shoulder. But remembering to listen to your body and let this be you in communication with your body. If you want to come out of a pose sooner or do a different stretch, always feel free to modify to suit your needs in the moment. One more breath here. And slowly raising back up to center. And this time, with the arms overhead, we'll interlace the fingers and then turn the palms to face the ceiling. And from here, slowly lower the hands forward, curving the spine, tucking the chin, and rounding the back. Create a nice stretch in the thoracic, the mid-spine, and breathing into the rounded spine. And then with an inhale, slowly raising back up, hands pressing towards the ceiling, and just very gently leaning a little over to the left. Then back through center and gently over to the right. Seeing if we can relax the shoulders and send the breath into that area of the low ribs, feeling the side opening. Then back through center and letting the arms slowly come towards the ground. If you're sitting cross-legged, I'll suggest that you switch the crossing of your legs here. And we'll just take a moment to do the Sufi Grind. This is wonderful for digestion. We've done it before. It's also going to give us a little more spaciousness in the abdomen. We're going to slowly move the rib cage from the left to the front, to the right and back in this gentle circle around the pelvic bowl, letting the movements be as small or as large as you'd like. And if there's an area where it feels like there's a very good release here, you can linger, breathe into it. When you're ready, changing directions. Just a gentle circular movement of the ribs here. And then letting that go, and we'll do a gentle cat-cow movement now, continuing to wake up the spine, rounding the back gently, and then opening across the chest and gazing upwards to arch the spine. Doing a few rounds of that at your own rhythm. Just checking in, how is the spine doing today? Is there one position that feels better than another? We'd be curious about that. Then coming back to center, and we'll come to stand at the head of our mat. So moving right up into a mountain pose at the head of our mat. Finding a nice grounded position. And just for a moment here, I'll invite you to see if you can scan from the feet all the way up to the crown of the head and notice where there's a feeling of ease, where things are feeling good, and where there's a little bit of tension. And as we're in mountain, bringing awareness to both points and letting our awareness flow between the two. Noticing where there's tension, noticing where there's ease. And we'll see if throughout our practice today we can keep that fluidity, noticing not only what feels a little challenging, but where there's ease in each posture. And so from here, I'll invite you to gently bend your knees, and we're going to again do sun breaths, but this time from standing. So we'll be inhaling to raise the arms up overhead, and then exhaling to slowly bend the knees and lower into a forward fold. And then with the knees bent here, gently rounding the back and coming back up to standing with the arms overhead. I'll invite you to go through these motions a few times. The idea here is slowly waking up the whole body, gentle movement, the length of the spine. As your arms lift up overhead, imagine you're gathering up energy. Then with your slow forward fold, releasing it, letting it go. And that inhale, gathering up, holding the arms overhead, and then a slow forward fold, letting it go. Going at your own rhythm, keeping the knees bent, supports the spine. And when we rise up, we want to press the feet into the ground and root to rise. So I'll invite you to do one more repetition, and then we'll come together in standing. Releasing the arms down to the side and taking a moment to just swing our arms from side to side. And again, this gentle check-in. Where is there tension? Where is there ease? Coming back to mountain, we're going to now do a very similar flow, but add chair. And so if you'd like to watch it first, you're more than welcome. But we'll be inhaling to lift the arms up with this opening across the chest. We just take a moment here to experience that expansion. And then we're going to lift the arms up towards each other as if the hands are gathering a ball of energy. And then we're settling our hips back as if into a chair. And this is an activating posture, and we can feel that ball of contracted energy as our muscles tighten, the abdomen moves towards the spine. And then with a nice big inhale, we're going to move back into expansion, opening the hands, opening across the chest, making room for our lungs. We'll do that 3 more times at your own rhythm. Imagining you're bringing the hands together and gathering up this ball of energy between your hands, lowering into chair, feeling that length in your spine from the tail to the crown of the head. Contraction. And then opening into expansion, feeling that length between the 2 hands. Can lift your chin slightly to make room for the throat. Then twice more, lowering down into chair. Long exhale, maybe 2. When you're ready, inhaling back into this expansive opening, feeling that width across the chest, and then letting the arms settle. And so again, I'll invite you in mountain just to flow your awareness through the body with this question: where is there tension? Where is there ease? Just knowing that we need to bring the tension into awareness in order to be able to work to release it. And that often releasing the tension comes first before we're able to relax. So just as we settle in and get that sense of what's going on in the body today, taking a few breaths, and we'll again bring the Bhramari breath in here, inhaling deeply and humming the exhale. So if you would like to place one hand on the chest and one hand on the abdomen, I invite you to do so to feel that vibration. We're breathing in deeply. And releasing the arms, and we'll prepare to move through some dynamic movement now, lifting the right knee and then stepping back into a warrior one. So I'll demonstrate this flow for a moment first. We lift the right knee and then step it back, and we're in a warrior one position, but our hands are forward in a block instead of up overhead. And this is a movement of healthy aggression. So if you'd like to add a visualization of something you're working through or trying to set a boundary with, I welcome you to do that here. We're going to inhale to gather in our energy and lift that right leg, and then step it back and push the hands forward, giving that distance, feeling our boundary, feeling our strength. I'll invite you to do that 3 more times on this side. Inhaling to lift the right knee, and then a nice loud exhale using sound to release from the throat. Going at your own rhythm. Nice protective fire here. Maybe one more if you're feeling it. And then releasing the hands, bringing your feet back into mountain. And again, taking a moment just to discharge. Swinging the arms from side to side. Maybe rolling the hips. Seeing if there's a movement your body is craving. Maybe it's a gentle turn of the head, loosening the base of the neck or in the shoulders. Shaking out the hands. And we'll prepare to do the other side. So again, very helpful if you'd like to pair this movement with the intention of setting a boundary or gaining some personal distance from something you're working with. And then lifting the left knee up, breathing in, gathering that force, and then back into that warrior one with the arms in front in this protective block. And then again, inhaling, that knee comes up. I'll invite you to go at your own rhythm here, do a few more repetitions, knowing you don't need to look at the screen, find your own practice here. One last repetition. And then again, finding your mountain pose And we'll flow through 3 more sun breaths here again at your own rhythm, gently lifting the arms up, gathering energy, and then slowly folding forward, releasing, grounding through the feet to roll up gently through the spine, arms up overhead, the gathering, and then the release, folding forward. One last repetition at your own rhythm. And when we're back in mountain, taking a moment to check in, notice how you feel, notice your breath flowing through. And again, this gentle inquiry, where is there tension, where is there ease? And from here, we're going to activate again this protective energy by flowing it into the wall. And we can do this with a wall if that's accessible, or a piece of furniture that's hip height would also work well for you. Because what we're going to do is take both hands and press them into the wall, stepping our feet far enough back that we can create the V shape of a downward dog. It will be a little bit of a wider angle, but we're essentially pressing our hands into the wall or the surface and letting our hips be drawn back so we can feel a nice length from the tailbone up to the brainstem, and this nice long shooting energy from the hips into the hands as they gently press into the wall. So we're finding a standing downward dog here that can be a great alternative if ever there are wrist or shoulder issues. So I'll invite you to find your own way in and take 3 breaths here, the chin tucked slightly, and applying a gentle pressure into the support of the wall, feeling the foundation beneath your feet and the solidity of the piece you're pressing into. And then slowly coming up and releasing, noticing the echo of that movement, observing the flow of energy in the body. We're going to do that one more time, but now I'll invite you to add the shape of a warrior 3. So as we press in, we're going to lift the back leg, and you can lift it slightly or all the way. We're going to lift it 3 times fluidly and then see if we can hold. So follow your own rhythm here. If you'd like to just experiment with a standing posture, that's absolutely fine too. I'll invite you to join me by pressing the hands into the support of the wall, finding that stability, and then grounding through the left foot, experimenting with pulsing the right heel up towards the ceiling, lowering and lifting. Finding this sense of your own strength and the support of the floor and the wall as a resource here. And then when you're ready, lifting the heel towards the ceiling at the angle you're comfortable with, and breathing here, tightening the abdomen into the spine for support, and feeling your own power and vitality as your hands press into the wall and this back foot shoots out towards the opposite wall. 2 more breaths here. And then lowering the right foot down, coming back up through center, and taking a moment to find some fluidity of movement and release. I highly recommend a gentle shake, sending a vibration from the head all the way into the feet. Taking a moment of discharge before we do the other side. And And then squaring your feet again to the wall or the piece of furniture, bending over at this 90-degree angle, straight legs, straight arms. We can have a slight bend in the knees if that's more comfortable. First, finding this downward dog position and finding that length in your spine, tucking the chin slightly, letting the hips be drawn back. And then grounding into the right foot, again these gentle pulses with the left leg, lifting towards the ceiling as much as feels comfortable. And then lifting into your warrior 3 variation, keeping the torso parallel with the floor and feeling the strength of your standing leg supporting you as you push into the wall in front of you. 2 more breaths here, letting the tightened abdomen support the spine as we breathe in our warrior 3 variation, very strong shape, and then release. And again, allowing the body to find some fluidity of motion. Maybe a gentle quivering from the head, through the shoulders, down into the feet. Shaking out the hands. And letting some of that energy move through. And so from here, I'll invite you to take your feet about wrist distance apart. And we're going to turn the toes out towards the corners of the mat. And just very gently from here, lower into a goddess pose. And then come back out. So finding your own rhythm with this, we lower the pelvic bowl and bend the elbows, making cactus arms to move into the pose, open across the chest. And with an exhale, come back to standing. We'll do 3 more, just this gentle movement activation at your own rhythm. And then coming back to standing, we're going to heel toe our feet in. And again in mountain pose, take a moment here to place one hand over the chest, one hand over the abdomen, and again the humming bee breath for 3 rounds, breathing in deeply. Taking a moment to notice how that feels. And from here again, widening the feet out. And we're going to be doing a sweeping motion here, stepping from one foot to the other. So I'll invite you to find some fluidity in the upper body first. Just gently shift your weight from one foot to the other. Feel the natural sway in the upper body. And then as you get a sense of that, notice the arms swinging naturally and start to encourage the swinging of the arms, letting that motion happen on its own. And then I'll invite you to add to the arm motion this gesture of sweeping across on a horizontal plane as you move from side to side. And here again, if you want to use the power of your imagination to imagine yourself sweeping the work off a desk, being done for the day, for the weekend, whatever it might be. Just a few cycles of this, permission to release, permission to flow that energy onward. Do 3 more repetitions at your own speed. Then slowly coming back to center, hips a little bit more than, or feet I should say, a little bit more than hip distance apart. And we'll do a gentle squat as if seated, preparing to do gentle cat-cow here, checking in with the spine. So just taking a moment to see how does it feel to gently arch and round the spine, inviting movement into the lower spine again. Seeing if you can pair it with your breath. Moving at your own rhythm. And we'll bring our feet back together and turn to slowly lower down to the ground or into your chair if you're doing a seated practice today. Coming to rest in a seat with the legs forward or with knees pointing forward if you're in a chair. We're going to do just gentle pulses in the legs. You can add a gentle massage, gentle tapping on the calves and the thighs if that feels good for you. But when you do so, noticing the sensation that rises up in response. And preparing to move into a forward fold here. It can be helpful to have something beneath your hips or even to gently let the glutes come to either side, encouraging that with your hands, and finding that straight spine and then gently folding over. And so this is head to knee posture, but we want that straight spine. And so we gently lower towards the legs, holding onto the calves or wherever feels most comfortable. You can keep the knees bent here for comfort. Now I'll invite you to move in and out of this posture with me if you'd like, or you can stay in a forward fold if that's feeling good for you. But I'll inhale to lift the crown of my head towards the ceiling, long spine, and then exhale to fold forward, release. Inhaling to lengthen, and exhaling to slowly lower into the posture. Going at your own rhythm. And again, this gentle inquiry, where in the body is there a feeling of ease in this movement? Where is there a feeling of tension? Just letting your awareness hold both. Slowly coming back up to a seated posture, and again just letting the legs bounce lightly on the mat. Adding that gentle tapping, noticing the sensation in response, stimulating the circulation through the legs here. And so from here we'll be doing a little bit of groundwork and then moving into our Shavasana. And so if you would like to have socks or cozy things around you that you'll use for Shavasana, this is a great time to do so. So a blanket, something comfortable to put beneath the legs maybe. And just having that nearby, not using it yet, but And so I'll be lowering down into a position on my back, and we're going to be doing some work to open and release in the hips. And so for those of you who are more comfortable in a seated position, please know that it would work to just bring the right ankle across to rest on the thigh in a seated position as well, as we're looking to open the outer hip. This would also be possible in pigeon if that works better for you. So I'm slowly lowering myself onto my back. Just taking a moment in active rest pose to feel the support of the ground from the head down through to the tailbone. If seated, noticing the support beneath the legs, the pelvic bowl. And then from here, preparing for thread the needle, I'm going to put my right ankle against the left thigh and then lift the left thigh towards me, interlacing the fingers behind the left thigh, breathing into that opening in the right hip. As we settle in here, seeing if you can send breath to that area of opening the outer right hip. We'll take 3 more cycles of breath here. A nice slow inhale, and with that long, soft exhale, inviting a release of the body into the support of the ground. And releasing and repeating on the other side. So finding your starting point, and then it's the left ankle on the right knee, bringing the right thigh towards you, interlacing the palms beneath the thigh, and breathing into the opening, the left hip here. And experiment seeing how it feels to breathe in through the nose slowly and out through the mouth. And a nice sigh from the back of the throat. One more deep breath here. And then bringing both feet down to rest against the edges of the mat. And if you're in a seated position, they're just a little wider than hip distance apart. We're going to take a moment just to gently let the knees drop from one side to another. A bit of opening through the hips on either side. A gentle twist can be felt in the torso here. And take 3 more breaths in, going at your own rhythm. Then coming back to center, we're going to prepare to do pelvic tilts. So this can be done in the chair or on the ground. But for those of you who are on the ground, I'll invite you to add a supported bridge. So the Thighs are parallel, knees bent. We can reach with our fingers for the ankles and feel that contact that's about the distance we want. And with the shoulders tucked, we can gently lift our hips towards the ceiling. And as we lower, tilt the pelvic bowl forward. And as we lift, tuck the tail and tilt it back. And so from a chair, it's just gently inviting movement of the pelvis, tilting forward, tilting back, just allowing some movement in this area. Begin feeling this relationship with the ground as a resource. Noticing where there's ease in the body and the movement. Noticing what you feel. We'll take 3 more breaths as we gently cycle through pelvic tilting, whether it's in supported bridge or seated. Seeing if you can connect the breath with the movement. And then with your next exhale, coming into active rest again. And we'll take a moment here to use vibration again to settle the body. One hand over the chest, one hand over the abdomen. Seeing how it feels for those who are lying down. Do the Bhramari breath in a reclined position. We'll do 3 rounds, breathing in slowly and humming the exhale. Letting the body rest, noticing the reverberation of sound. And then from here, checking in with your body and seeing if there's one last stretch you would like. Letting yourself take that movement. I'll be doing a groin opening in a happy baby position, so you're welcome to join in that. It could also be done in a wide angle forward fold. I'm just giving you full permission here to find a posture that works for your body. I'm going to draw my knees in towards my armpits and then bring my feet to face the ceiling and then hold my calves as I gently bend the knees and encourage the knees towards the armpits, holding the outer foot. Taking a moment to notice where your mind is wandering and to gently bring it back to the practice, back to noticing the breath flowing through the body, the support of the ground beneath you. And slowly, as you're ready, finding your way into the position you'll take for Shavasana. So as always, you can take it lying on your stomach with the hands as a pillow. You can be lying on your back in corpse position with the body balanced to either side. You can add a pillow under your knees if that feels good. You can sit in a chair and do a seated practice. Just a reminder, you can come out whenever you're ready. And as I settle in on my back here, I'm going to gently turn my head from side to side, I'll encourage you wherever you are just to take a moment to do a gentle stretch for the neck. And as we settle in for our Shavasana today, we're going to go into it with a progressive muscle relaxations. This is much like the squeeze and release. And so join me if you'd like, or feel free to find the silence beneath my words, if that's more suited to where you are right now. We're going to contract and then release one part of the body at a time, starting with the feet. So gently curling the toes and contracting the feet, feeling that strength, that power of the contraction, and then releasing, finding ease, finding softness through the feet, and then moving up to the calf muscles, gently engaging, hugging muscle towards bone, feeling the strength in the muscles of the calves, that tension, contraction, and then release, softening through the calves, giving them permission to relax as much as they will into the support of the ground. And then moving up to the thigh muscles, the gentle contraction, hugging muscle into bone, feeling the tension, the strength of the thighs, and then releasing them, relaxing into the support of the ground beneath, feeling the echo of that tension as we release the thighs, giving the thighs permission to relax. Then inviting tension, a gentle contraction into the glutes, the lower abdomen, noticing the strength of these muscles, the tightness as they contract, and then release, relaxing them fully, or as much as they will. Permission to release, permission to rest. Then gently sending a wave of contraction from the lower abdomen up to the higher abdomen, gently contracting these muscles, feeling the corresponding tightening of the back body here. So we gently hug the muscles in towards the spine. Notice that quality of tension, and then release, relax, settle into the ground, giving the abdomen full permission to rest, to soften. And then moving into the chest, gently drawing up the shoulders, flexing the pectorals, a slight contraction, tension here, noticing that contraction, and then releasing, fully allowing the chest to settle, permission for the pectorals to relax, release. And then forming fists with the hands, we'll do from the hands up into the shoulders at the same time, lifting the fists off the ground, hugging muscle towards bone and sending this gentle wave of contraction, feeling your strength throughout the arms, that tension that's here in activation, and then release, relax, permission for the arms to rest, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, letting them be heavy, melting into the ground, supported by the ground here, and releasing into that support as much as they will. Then for our last point, we'll do the skull, the face, and the neck at the same time, only tensing in the throat if that's something that is therapeutic for you right now. If not, just stick with the muscles of the face and the skull. And we'll tighten the muscles of the face, tighten through the skull, feeling that contraction, and then releasing fully, allowing the skull to be supported, release, letting the tongue rest on the floor of the mouth, Seeing if you can send permission to relax into the jaw, into the tongue, the area around the eyes, permission for the muscles of the face to relax. Letting the bones feel heavy, supported by the ground here. Noticing this quality of release. Feeling that support from the ankles all the way to the crown of the head. And allowing the body finally full permission to rest. I'll hold space here for 5 minutes in a silent Shavasana. I'll let everyone know when we're about halfway. As we reach the halfway point, just a gentle exploration, noticing where your mind is right now, what's in your awareness. Is it outside of the space you're in? Is it within the body? Just taking a moment to gently invite the mind back into unity with the body lying here, the sensations of support beneath, noticing from the heels to the crown of the head, the support that's here. Seeing with your exhale if you can allow the body to release into that support. Trust that it's here to hold you. Welcoming that awareness to stay with the flow of breath, support of the ground. As we reach the end of our time in Shavasana, for those who would like to, I invite you to join me for 3 last rounds of the Bhramari B breath. It's vibration, unblocking the energy channels with this sweet sound, reverberations of sound. Breathing in slowly, deeply, and humming the exhale. Sending that wave of awareness through the body again from the heels to the crown of the head. Just bringing curiosity to the life that's here. Noticing how your breath is flowing. There's a difference from that inquiry at the beginning of class and now. Just holding in awareness the inner world, the emotions, thoughts, sensations that are here. And gently releasing that inner awareness, slowly at your own rhythm, welcoming movement back to the body, welcoming awareness of the light and sound in the space around you. For those of you who would like to stay in Shavasana or in a place of rest, you're more than welcome. If anyone would like to join me for a repetition of the mantra Om to close the class, you're more than welcome to slowly ease yourself into a seated position and join me. For preparing for Om, we'll breathe in deeply. That's our practice for today. Thank you very much for joining me.